flying, and we did. And especially night reconnaissance, you could see the battle from the air, and you could see the explosions, and you could see the firefights, and you could see all the rest of it. And you darn well, people were dying down there. And when you refueled these fighters and these bombers, and they were going in and bombing, you knew darn well you were part of like mass killing. And it occurred on both sides. I'm not suggesting that we were the only ones who occurred, but it just preyed on me.
Oh, I guess.
It just preyed on me. It preyed on me. I guess that it just and then on a couple of occasions we grew close because we were stationed together. We grew close to the fighter pilots, and I'll never forget one experience. I had just refueled a firefighter pilot. He went into North Vietnam. He never came up. He was shot down. We heard him shot down. We heard the whole thing, and I knew the guy personally. And so it's not happening to me. It's not happening in my face. You're experiencing it, and that's what I was talking about.
Okay. Change gears just a little bit. When you had some downtime, what did you do for recreation or
Drink.
Okay. Okay.
That's what you did for downtime.
Okay.
We did get one R&R to Bangkok, Thailand, which I enjoyed thoroughly. I loved the city at the time because it was a mixed meal, but you drank a lot. That's all I can say.
Okay. All right. As well as communicating back home with a normal guys and letter and
yes, and the mail is extremely slow, and you could use a phone, but you had to take a number, and there were so many people using the phone that you probably got to make 1 or 2 phone calls in 4 or 5 months. That's better. The previous wars, World War II and Korea, I'm not sure they could use the phone to call back home. So in that sense, we were softer.
Okay. All right. Now we're back to, let's say, South Dakota. The emotions that you, let's say, had and our family members had, realizing that you were exiting the military.
You want to know what my emotions were?
Yes, sir. 2
things happened. I divorced within 6 months. And then all of a sudden I had to change from being a military person to going back to being a civilian. And initially I went back to school. I had a degree, but I wanted to be a teacher at the time, so I went back to school and was taking classes at Black Hills State Teachers College. I remember that one well. And then I decided that this wasn't because I wasn't making any money, and I wasn't going to be able to hack it this way. So then I went to work for Kmart. I applied for the training program, was accepted, and I actually started working for Kmart in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Okay.
Which would have led to a 27-year career with Kmart.
Okay. All right. When did you retire from Kmart?
I never retired.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was downsized.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Although I got a pittance of a retirement, I was downsized.
Okay. And just, I think you probably touched base on some of these last 2 questions I'm going to ask. Your wartime experience, how did that affect your life till this day?
Well, several ways. Number one, I learned that I could survive if I had to.
Okay.
I could fight and kill if I had to. Was it my first choice? No. Did I want to do it? No. But if I was back in the corner, I could. So I realized that gave me confidence to realize I could survive, which I didn't have totally before I entered the service. The other thing that it taught me was there was a brutal side to me that I really didn't appreciate. But it was there, and it was there for a reason, and you never see it. I do not like confrontation, but we'll do it with a drop of a hat.
Okay. Okay.
That came from my experience in service. I realized that I had to defend and fend for myself. And it was about, I'm sure it was there before I got to the service, but it really was exploited during the service. And what's interesting, I used to hunt before I went into service. After I left the service, I hunt no more.
Oh.
I have 2 guns in the house that are gaining rust.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, one last question I have, and this is similar to the last question, but we'll twitch to it. Was there any life lesson learned from your military service?
Well, there wasn't just one.
Okay.
But some of it I mentioned about survival. They also learned there was a side of me that didn't like killing. You know, I probably did that before. It did teach me discipline. It reinforced the discipline that I had been given at the house and said in my own home and in my own upbringing. It taught me, more importantly, to be punctual, to be honest, to be ethical, and moral.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I think I mentioned in the beginning, it also taught me that no matter how much we don't want war and how much we don't want conflict, we're going to get it.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. So there's a couple of items tucked in there. Was that based on the military code of conduct, so to speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was also a Boy Scout before I went to the military, but it reinforced. Okay. And I don't want to be in this. I don't agree with war. I don't agree with conflict. But in my experience, both in the service and now outside the service, there's always going to be, because we are human animals, not angels. There's always going to be bullies, and you're always going to have to figure out how to push back the bullies.
Okay. Okay. Well, that kind of concludes the interview. But are there any lasting words or anything you want to say in just in conclusion? Sort of.
You know, I pretty well said it.
Yeah, I think you gave us some good comments there. Well, Mr. Powell, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.